So first of all, good evening everyone. Welcome here, and today we are going to the discussing about a very important topic in the C++ programming world. That is a what? How to pass the default generic types in the class. Okay, so this is our project today for today. Okay, that is a how to pass pass how to pass the default default generic types in the class. Okay, so what is the meaning of this? Sorry for that, I'm just going to the, because here it is going to the two video two. Okay, so I'm just writing next and next. So what's happening here, we have the one file is opening, that is a how to pass the default generic types, how to pass the default generic types in the class. Okay, so what is the main funda of the this class, that is a we will create a generic type of the class, and default generic type will be there. Okay, means we will not pass the any type of the in the main function, we will not pass the any type of the data type. Means this one type of the your data type will be handled. Okay, means I want to say you, we will see. Okay, that here first of all we are going to the create one generic type of the class. So creating the generic of the class, we are going to the use the template. So use the template, and then here we are going to the class, use the class keyword, and then the use the your class name, not class name, sorry for that. We are going to the use we are going to the create the generic data type. So I am just writing t1, and okay, so only t1. Okay, sorry, oh, sorry. So I am just create only one placeholder, you can say that is a generic data type. Okay, and then I am just create one class, that is a generic class, that is a name is a emax. Okay, yes, so emax is the name, and here we have to the close our class, and inside this class what's happening, this one is going to the by default assigning the data type. Okay, so I'm just assigning the data type, that is a integer. Means if we will not pass here, that is a type of the data type of the our t1 type of the generic type for the our generic data types. So at a time default that one will be integer. Okay, means if you will I want to show you that for the calling that or anything creating the object, we are just writing that class, and then class emax and then object name. Okay, so here we have to the default, that this one is a default type of the generic default type of the generic data types is here. Okay, because default means what, we have to the by default we have to the assign the integer values. Means integer data type, no value. Means I have to the set to the our template class for the our t1, that is a generic data type, that we will pass only and only integer type of the value. Okay, so here we have to note necessary for the set to the our t1 that we will pass the integer. Okay, and here I am just writing the creating the object, and then I am just going to the passing the value, because we will create the constructor and then all these things. So here we have the one data, that is a t1 is a data type, that is an integer by default. Okay, and then variable name is a tx. Okay, and then I have to the that one is a private mode, that one was the private mode, and here we have the data that is a public mode will be all these things. Okay, so our class name is a emax. So I'm just going to the create one constructor for the assigning the value there. Okay, for the x I'm just going to the assigning the value there. Okay, so I have to the create one constructor, and then I'm just going to the writing the t1, and then x2 is our variable name for the our constructor, and x is going to the assigning by the x2. Okay, and then what we are going to do here, we have the one, we are going to the create one method, that is a show method is there. Okay, why these are the data type of our functions method. Okay, and inside it what we are going to do, we are going to the print the value of the our x. Okay, so I am just writing that the value of the value the value of the default x is okay, and then I have to the use the we have to the print the x and then endl. Okay, so what will happen, we are going to the see here. Okay, so we have to the create the one object, and that one is a by default by default cons- by default class, by default generic class is here. Okay, because I have to the by default set to the our generic type that you will integer type. Okay, and and integer come here means int x is here by default. This one is int x. Okay. And here we are going to the assigning we are going to the use the integer type of the x2 int x2, and int x2 is assigning to the x1. Simple. And then we are going to the print the value of the x. It is a very simple, yeah, very simple, yes. And then what we are going to the do here, we have to the see that here we have the here we have the default generic data generic types. Okay, so here we have the default. This one is the showing that default, because here we are not going to the say that we will which types of the data we will pass. Okay, so we can pass any types of the data here, but we must have to the pass the integer values to the default, because what will happen, I am just going to show you. First of all, compile this source code and then run. So why is it not having? Okay, I have to now, sorry for that, I have to not call that. Okay, so obj1 dot show method is going to the call, and then that one is going to the call, and then now we will get the output. So the value of the default x is a 77. Okay, so we have to the got it the value of the our variable x, that is a okay. So again, I am just going to the create the object that is a emac that is a for the object. Okay, I have to create it, and then I am just 88 no 88. I am just writing that this is a string. This is a string. Okay, so this time what will be happen? We are going to the see. Okay, so obj2 dot show method is going to the calling. Okay, so what will be happen? We are going to the see. So in this time we are going to the get one exceptions, because the main reason is here that here we have to the see that for our class generic class we have to the set to the our generic data type that we will pass the only and only integer type of the data. But here we are not going to the set to the our class generic class that we will pass the integer only and only integer. We have to set, because default means what? We are going to the pass the default. That is a default is what for we default for us default equal to integer, because here we have to use the integer, we have to assign the integer, that is the int here. Okay, so this is the main reason that default is the integer. So we when we will use this syntax that is a default, here we are not going to pass the data type, so we must have to the only and only pass the value to the constructor only and only to the object integer types. We can't use the different types of the data type. But if we want to pass the different types of the values, so at a time we can also do that. Okay, so what is the solution? We must have to write here the solution, that is a string. We are going to pass the string here now, bro. Here, bro. Okay, so here we are going to pass the string, so we must have to write the string, and there is a data type, that which types of the data type you are going to pass. Okay, data value we are going to pass. Okay, so a string will be come here for the assigning integer, but assigning integer t1. Okay, means data type is a t1 is assigning to the int here. But if you are going to the pass the string, so a string will become here, int will be replaced. Okay, so in this time what will be happen? Second time, bro, second time t1 is going to the assigning by the string. Okay, and then what will be happen? We have the t1 that is a string x. Okay, so second time we have the a string x, a string x, and then second time, okay, this one is the second times, and then a string s2, and we have the string s2, a string s2, x2, x2, sorry for that, string x2, okay, and then we are going to assigning the value of the string x2 to the string x. So this one is very easily happening, okay, so the constructor, so we have to copy one value to the another values to the another variables. Okay, so I hope that you have to understand everything here, and then here we are going to the show the value of our of our class for the x variable of the x variable. So here we can see that that time if we are going to the write the string, that is we are going to the which types of the data we are going to the pass default, except the default, okay, but if we are going to the string here writing, and then we are going to the pass the integer, so at that time what will happen, we are going to the see, okay, before that I'm just going to the compile and run this source code, so you can see that it is going to the easily happening, okay. So this is the overwriting of the generic data type, so you can say also, because a string is going to the replaced by the integer, okay everyone. So I hope that you have the clarity about that, and after that I'm just saying that class emax, and then you have the default, and then we have to the not default, we are going to the passing that we are going to the, we will pass the a string type of the data, okay, and then we are going to the create the object, and then we are going to the pass the value, which is 44. So at that time what will happen, if we are going to the see, we will get one error because we have to the set to our class generic class that we will pass only and only string value, but we are going to pass the integer type of the value. So that is the main reason that we can say that is a we will get one exception. So okay everyone, so I hope that you have the clarity about everything here. But if you have any types of the questions from related to these things, you can ask me without any types of the hesitation with the help of the talk or comment box, okay. So let's meet you again and again, let's meet you again and again, let's buy. But before that I want to say you that if you have to understand everything, then like and subscribe this channel, okay, and then go from this channel, okay, just leave this channel, okay. So let's buy, meet you again and again, let's buy.